it's interesting to have your first hole back from the lab and to be one of those great highlight holes. So it was a great place to start reporting on the silver. We're excited. Hole number 3 was really good as well. And all these 4 holes that we've reported on intersected mineralization. As we obviously expand more on the exploration of the vein, we're going to find where the high-grade shoots are, or that'll be our objective in expanding the body.
Hello, welcome to Assay TV. Today, I'm joined by Alberto Orozco, who is CEO and Director of Capitan Mining. Capitan Mining are focused on the Cruz de Plata Project in Durango, Mexico. Alberto, welcome to Assay TV. If we could start things off, if you could sort of set the scene for us. Cruz de Plata, it's had some historic exploration on the project there. Tell us a little bit about the background to that project.
Absolutely, Leo. It's great to be here today. Well, the Cruz de Plata project that we have in Capitan Mining is located in northern Durango. It's a project that has had some previous exploration, as most projects do in the world, go through different stages of exploration. Here, previous operators back in 2011, but mostly between 2013, 2014, did some work in the area, and they put 10,000 meters of drilling, which were divided 3,000 in a silver zone called Jesus Maria and 7,000 in a gold zone called Capitan. Now, it's important to mention too that this is a historical project. This is where the Peñoles company was born back in the late 1800s. Those were the original mines where they had their origins. And so there's that to keep in mind too when discussing this project.
And you've got a NI 43-101 resource there, inferred resource, yeah? What sort of, how many ounces have you got?
Well, that's correct. With those 10,000 meters that I just mentioned, 7,000 in the Capitan gold zone and 3,000 at the Jesus Maria silver zone, that came up with a total resource of 15 million ounces in the silver portion, averaging 62 grams per ton silver, and 305,000 ounces in the gold zone, averaging 0.46 grams per ton gold. And that's an inferred resource that we have. Now, that it's important to mention too that's not much drilling. 10,000 meters is, we believe, very little. One of the things we recognized early on is that the deposit would still open in every direction, and also that the silver portion had some really nice high grades in veins that had not been pursued previously because there was very little drilling there.
Let's talk about that now then. Your recent drill campaign on the Jesus Maria silver zone. How many holes and how many meters was that planned for?
We announced late last year that it was going to be a 5,000 meter drill program. We've been drilling since late last year. Actually, late last year, we were able to drill 10 of those holes in the campaign. We believe we're going to be drilling around 25 holes, roughly, depending on the final lengths of these holes, of which we've announced 4 which were the first ones that we got back from the lab. So we have already drilled up to 19, I believe, if I remember correctly, which are in the lab, and we continue drilling still today.
Excellent. And as you mentioned, you've had four holes out. Some pretty impressive results there.
There were some really good results. We were really pleased. Out of those 4 holes, I'd say 2 were particular highlights. Hole number 1 came up with 42.7 meters of 224 grams per ton silver equivalent. That was mostly silver too. It depends where you are within the Jesus Maria vein, what concentrations you're going to get from precious metals and base metals. But in this case, was very high in silver. So that interval contained 154 grams per ton silver and 0.37 gold. And that included a number of higher grade intercepts within it, like 1.5 meters of 1,177 silver equivalent and another 1.5 meters of 1,352 silver equivalent. Again, mostly silver. The first one was 1,044 grams per ton silver, and the second one 1,271 grams per ton silver. And the other hole 3, also very good hole. That one had 10.7 meters of 435 grams per ton silver equivalent. That one was a little more base metals rich, that had 177 grams per ton silver and some high contents in the base metals. And that also included a number of higher grade intercepts there, like 1.5 meters of 798 grams per ton silver equivalent, or 1.5 meters of 860 grams per ton silver equivalent. So, we invite everybody to go and review the press releases in our website to look at the detailed numbers.
Absolutely. As you mentioned there, you've got some base metals in there, some lead and some zinc. Is that going to factor into future plans, do you think?
I believe so. We believe that's of interest. There are a number of operations that consider not only the precious metals, but the base metals as well. And we believe they add value to the project. Now, we are obviously within our exploration program going to be trying to identify where we have the high grade shoots of both higher proportions of base metals versus precious metals, and try to extend on both.
The drilling you've done so far there, is that how much of it is sort of following up on historical drilling and trying to replicate those numbers, and how much of it is sort of exploring into new areas and seeing extensions to the mineralization?
So we've actually defined up to 4 different targets up to date in the project. I'd say right now we have only pursued 2 that are probably the most advanced of those targets. The main one is obviously the Jesus Maria vein. That's where that historical Jesus Maria mine was located, and that has excellent continuity. We were just starting to expand on it on strike and down dip, so we're not going very far on that particular vein initially with these initial 5,000 meters. A second target that we have been trying to target with this drill program is another structure that we know as the Gully Fault. That's a structure that runs a slightly different angle than the Jesus Maria vein. It's got more of a northeast attitude. And what we're observing is that it seems that at the intersection of the 2 structures, we have some broader zones of mineralization and higher grades. That's where hole number 1 is located, and which is why it has a broader zone of mineralization. And part of this initial program is trying to identify the attitude of that zone so that we can then expand on it on strike and down dip. Another 2 targets that we have, probably we won't see too much drilling on those 2 targets within this very initial drill program. One is to the north, where we've been doing some surface sampling, and we've been getting some great results there on surface sampling, both on silver, gold, and base metals. We haven't been able to drill that yet. Then to the south, just underneath the Capitan oxide gold mineralization, one of our drill holes, hole 29, intersected silver mineralization just as it had passed the body of mineralization of Capitan. That opened up a brand new target for the silver mineralization and potential for new structures. So that was a blind discovery and unintentional 350 meter step out on the Jesus Maria zone. So that's a very exciting target, but we know that we want to put a little bit more work before we spend some more drilling into it. We know that drill holes there are going to have to be at least 300 to 400 meters depth for that specific target. So we will do a little bit more work, and we'll get to that one in this campaign. There's one final target to the northeast called San Rafael, also with one of those mines where the Peñoles company was born. That has had not only that historical production, but 5 drill holes by the previous operators that hit good grades, but they were just too widely separated. They didn't make it into the resource. So that's a high priority drill target that we have as well.
Absolutely. And moving on from Jesus Maria but to Capitan Hill project, where you have sort of 300,000 ounces or so of gold in your resource. What are your plans for that?
Well, it's once you start talking about the silver, which has been our focus lately, and we're very excited about it. It's interesting once you've sort of grasped that potential, and then to look to the side and see that we have an oxide gold, a large body of mineralization there that started with 305,000 ounces of an inferred resource. It was open in every direction. That was actually the initial focus of our work during Capitan. So we started trading in September 2020, and that same month we started drilling at the Capitan zone. We have been expanding on strike and down dip. We're not drilling there at the moment as we have shifted to the Jesus Maria Silver Zone, but we were able to roughly expand the footprint on strike and down dip to about double the original size of the mineralization. Most of the original drilling there was very close to the up dip dimension of the body. And it was just very obvious to expand that on strike and down dip, and we were successful at doing that. And not only did we expand on that initial body of mineralization, we also recognized that a second structure that we call the hanging wall zone is significant in adding volume to the body. So that was our initial focus. We are very happy to where we have brought it today. We are not necessarily done yet with Capitan, but we have for the moment shifted to the silver, and we're reviewing some of those results to see what additional drilling we will do at the Capitan zone.
Absolutely. You mentioned the company was sort of fairly recently founded. What's the background to the sort of management team and your experience in developing these sort of exploration projects?
The Capitan team is a big part of the story for the company, because we were able to put together, to reassemble the exploration team that we had with Argonaut Gold. It is a team too that didn't form there. It had been forming in two other previous companies in the past. So it's 15 years in the making, with a team that works like a well-oiled machine, and that has seen projects go from early stage discovery all the way to development and operations. So, we like to say that we know what a good project looks like, and we see those elements here in our Cruz de Plata project. And so we have a number of plus 1 million ounce deposits that we have been able to expand, in some case discover and expand, or even be instrumental in putting into production. And so it was three of them went into production, and that's, I think, a great accomplishments, great experience from our team here in Mexico.
Fantastic. So looking forward to the year ahead, obviously you've got some more sort of drill results to come out from your current campaign, but what should sort of people be looking out for? What are your milestones you're looking to hit in this coming year?
This year is going to be very exciting, we believe, for Capitan and the Cruz de Plata project. It's been already quite a great year as we started off reporting on the discovery of the silver mineralization underneath the Capitan zone. That was a great moment to report on opening on the potential of the silver. Then as we pivoted to the silver, we've been showing that the grades are there. I believe the market perhaps did not necessarily understood the opportunity at Cruz de Plata. And this drill program that we're doing right now, in big part has that objective to bring awareness to the potential that we have and the potential for scale and high grades. So I think we're accomplishing that right now, and we will obviously show that this is going to require much more work, that it's still at an early stage of discovery. But having said that, we've had a really good return for the relative small amount of drilling that we put into the project. So we see this current drill program growing significantly this year.
Excellent. Early days for the company, but some great numbers to start you off with. I mean, that hole number one, that's a good place to start.
Yeah, hole number one was it's interesting to have your first hole back from the lab and to be one of those great highlight holes. So it was a great place to start reporting on the silver. We're excited. Hole number 3 was really good as well. And all of these 4 holes that we've reported on intersected mineralization. As we obviously expand more on the exploration of the vein, we're going to find where the high grade shoots are, or that'll be our objective in expanding the body. But I should also mention, and I don't think I stressed that enough before, that we have been finding additional zones of mineralization that were not previously identified with this program of drilling. And so underneath, or let's say on the footwall of the Jesus Maria vein, both holes number 1 and number 3 have been finding some anomalous zones of mineralization that had not been previously identified. I think this is also a testament to the potential of additional veins and additional zones of mineralization that we could be finding. So that's this program too is not only showing that the Jesus Maria vein has the potential to be larger, but also that this is a big system. You know, geologically speaking, when you look at it, it is a bigger system that probably it was originally envisioned when the initial drill exploration program set out.
Excellent. Well, best of luck for your continued campaign. But thank you very much for joining us today for that update on the company.
Thank you very much, Leo. Great to be here.
Thank you.